Hundreds of miles away, beyond the smell of smoke, beyond the steel cloud scrapers, beyond the trance of the keepers, was the ancient forest. The moss, vines, and overbrush made it all but impossible to get in or out of this all but forgotten place. Once in, it was still a day's journey to the clearing in the woods that ultimately led to the old abandoned mill. As you came closer, you could hear a sound that at first was like 100 babbling brooks echoing through a canyon, and there was a stream, but much of the sound was from the young ones. Generations and generations ago, the true Shadowmen, as some call them, built a mill and started their own community. They were the last of the believers of the book. While others laughed at the book or chose not to pay any attention to the legend, the true Shadows continued to tell their children and grandchildren that the story was true, that the book had been taken by the keepers. So all the generations of the true Shadows continued to believe. Their little village was full of warmth and laughter. The Shadows loved each other deeply. The wise ones would tell stories about the book and about the Shadowmen of old. And there were the ancient scrolls. They spoke of the Father of Lights and of the book. Many said they held a secret to where it had been hidden. The scrolls also told a prophecy of the band of shadows who would rescue the lost ones and defeat the destroyers at the end of time. Not everyone in the camp felt the security that seemed to come from believing in the book. Some had their own private worlds to live in, their own pain, their own sadness. One of them was Tad. Ever since he was a young child, he had been smaller than his friends. He always carried his staff with him, and so some of the young ones teased him about it and called him Tadpole. He used his staff to leap great distances, and while those around him were amazed at his leaping ability, he himself was feeling more insecure and inferior. And then there was Jared. They called him the Encourager, and all of the villagers loved him, especially the young ones. He was devoted to his friends. He would talk to them and tell them about God, the Father of Lights, and how much he loved them.